You want to know what's going on in your dirt sports world? Whether it's 4 wheels, 2 wheels, Dirt Sports World's got you covered. From the dirt to the dunes, we bring you the latest action in racing, to lifestyle, the newest parts, the newest vehicles, and what the superstars of off-road are up to. Check out our social media for up-to-date information on Instagram, Facebook, Dirt Sports World, and more in depth. And check out the magazine at www.dirtsportsworld.com. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Dirt Sports World, for some great videos. So make sure to follow us and come get dirty with us.
I told y'all, we got the game on lock. Crank Lucas the rap deucer. Team Real Racing. Y'all already know we won. Off-road racing, quickest in the desert. To the finish line, passing through the checkers. It's Team Real, we just much better. When we on the track, we apply that pressure. People lined up screaming from the sideline. When they see the UT class fly by, or they see me in the truck doing drive-bys, in the Parker Dam or in the Baja. Every time you see me rolling through inside a buggy, and I'm counting up the money, cause I came to multiply it. Put your 1200 horsepower in the motor, you don't really wanna race me, I dare you to try it. Started up the engine, now my wheels on fire. Zooming through the track while I'm burning up the rubber. Better get them slow waves out of my water. You don't wanna see the shark or there's a crusher. It's Team Real, y'all know what the biz. Crank Lucas and I'm spinning on the wheel. Do a 160, pass you so fast when the wind hits your body, get the chills. Telling everybody they can eat my dust, but I guarantee you won't beat my best. Pop a champagne when I'm at the finish line and I'm holding up the trophy and I beat my chest. What first place look like it's me? I don't do 2s and I never met a 3. People know the Team Real logo when I'm running through the desert and I'm running all through the streets. Never have to cap my race game tight. My vehicles can go all night. Foot up on the gas, I can never brake right because I'm allergic to all the red lights. Team Real, Team Real. Everybody thinking that they faster till they got a race. Team Real, Team Real. All about the speed and you can see it all up in my face. Team Real, Team Real. Real scared money don't make no money. It's Team Real, Team Real. Hit a motor rumble and the tires burning from the rubber. Team Real, Team Real. Everybody thinking that they faster till they got a race. Team Real, Team Real. All about the speed and you can see it all up in my face. Team Real, Team Real. Real scared money don't make no money. It's Team Real, Team Real. Hit a motor rumble and the tires burning from the rubber.
so much to look forward to, including crowning our very first short course National Series World Champion. First up, it's the three-time king starting off on top. It's win 17 for Connor Barry. Barry getting quite comfortable in victory lane. First-time winner in the iRacing Short Course National Series. Take a bow, Drake Mittag. Matt Adams is winner 22. He does it in the signature Propellers Long Beach Surfside Showdown. Keaton Swain's not going to stand down. To the line, a photo finish.
He finally got it. Swain, pop the champagne, baby.
And while Luke Canuck's yet to taste success in 2025, it's going to be a taste that's oh so sweet. Her first win in the National Series through Calamity Corner. Crystal King gets it done. Just 2 rounds left to go in the iRacing Short Course Pro 2 National Series presented by CBR, and it hits the Wild West Motorsports Park as we narrow down the field for the playoffs and we try and find someone to challenge Connor Barry. Hi folks, Arjuna Kankupati back alongside the voice of off-road Dave Arnold as we get set for what should be a wild round of racing. 222 lap main events, but before that, Dave, qualifying and LCQs to set the grid.
Oh, it always makes it interesting, and I love coming to Wild West. The undulations, the altitude changes, and the high speed. And I talked to a few of the drivers when we were talking last week, and I'll tell you, some of them, this is not their favorite track out there. Drake Mittag is one of them.
And so with two-wheel drive, we'll see how the racing fares out. Let's talk schedule quickly because one update to notify you all. No racing next week. We'll have a break before we regroup for the season finale at the big house, the Crandon International Raceway. 10 wide. We'll funnel our way down to the opening corner. But we're coming off a couple of interesting rounds, Dave, that unfortunately I was not a part of. The Bark River International Raceway, but more interestingly, the trip upstate to Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen, I'll tell you, what a fast track out there. Drafting really came into play, just like in the regular sports car we see racing there. It made some exciting racing, and I'll tell you, it was fast and some big surprises and some not big surprises. Connor Barry, after round one, he had a struggle there, and I'll tell you, he came out swinging after that.
And so after the points situate themselves, it's now down to 9 at the front, with just 2 between the second and third place drivers. So Barry, Mittag, and Edmondson all in with a good shout. We'll see if Winkler, Miller, Knupp will close themselves up as we head into these final 2 rounds of racing. There's other championships to talk about. We've got team championships, but more importantly, I think the run to the playoffs is where I've been keeping my eye as qualifying works its way through. There's currently a 23-point gap between Dennis Mickelson and Matthew Lindy on the cut line. Basically, if Connor Barry continues to win, it deprives other drivers, Dave, of an opportunity to lock themselves in, and so the playoff points are going to become even more close and interesting.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, looking at the point spread, 2 points between second and third. Edmondson, he's been steady, but he's, still trying to get that elusive win underneath his belt. But, sometimes you don't have to win all the races to win a championship. It's just being consistent. And that's what we've seen out of Drake Mittag and, of course, Edmondson. And Winkler, he struggled a little bit, but he was still right there, coming in fourth.
So still plenty of time left in the session. Drivers have done a lap or 2 and now are waiting to the end. We're talking thousandths at the front of the field. At 6 thousandths between first and second. Keaton Swain back in the running with Josh Edmondson not far behind. Cody Winicki then in third. Still waiting to see where Connor Barry will insert himself into the mix. Here comes Joey Herbie, 7th for him as he runs onto his 4th and final lap. So one of the few drivers, Dave, burning their attempts and now working to turn 4 is with the red number boards of the championship leader. Here comes Barry.
Yeah, I know Connor usually likes to sit there, kind of watch what people are doing, and then come out, okay, that's not where to take this thing. And I'm sure he's put a lot of track time in. And, Keaton Swain, he's always been fast at this track in a Pro 4. Now, the question is, in a Pro 2, can he hold on to that top spot? Edmondson, we already know Edmondson loves his Pro 2s. He's talked to us about that before.
So, as Barry starts his lap, Tyson Miller has just jumped to 4th. Barry in the air, sets himself up for turn 1. Big sweeper. And then down the hill, Dave, into yet another hairpin, and where I think we're going to see the scene of many incidents.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You got the jump, then you got, that bump. It just kind of unsettles the truck. Sometimes these guys will rotate him in the air and drop him up. So your qualifying lines is going to change real big when you get into race situations. So we're going to see that change up as we get into the main events.
And I think the track evolution between the first and second main event could be quite significant, so keep an eye on that. Just one more corner, and how aggressive will Barry be as he flicks the car in as he jumps into that final entry. Mittag up to 6th, and about 2/10, a quarter of a second, covering the top 7 right now. Here comes the, man to beat so far in 2025. 3rd on the board for Barry. He's got to find 84 thousandths of a second.
Well, if anybody could find it, Connor Berry can. Now as we go back on with Zach Drapkin out there. Drapkin's sitting currently 9th to see if he can better that position. Drapkin's always been in there. It looks like he's going to hold that one off there. I guess that was his finishing of his lap there. Here's Lindy.
Yeah, I think Drapkin had just finished his 4th and final attempt, so maybe he doesn't want to try and practice anymore. Now we'll sit back and watch the times. TJ Staver to 14th, and if I remember correctly, top 16 are those drivers that will advance directly to the main event, and everyone else fights for, one of 2 spots in 2 LCQs coming up shortly after this.
Yeah, and I'm seeing back there Ricky Huseman in 17th. He's been pretty solid. He's had a great year so far, and he's adapted really well to the Pro 2s. He's came up for our regional series into the national series, so that's good to see. And, looking back there, Trenton Briley always does well. He's back in 24th, and look at that, Batman, Adam McAfee is in 23rd.
Crystal King, who is another driver that stepped up from the regional to national series, got the win in the final round of the Pro 4. She's jumped up to the edge of the top 10 with 3.5 minutes left on the clock. TJ Staver in 14th position finishes up his final attempt. Here comes the big dogs back out onto track though. Short time remaining. Josh Edmondson is on his 3rd out of 4 attempts, so he has one more after this as he runs in virtual reality up in towards turn 3. And Dave, I always say the sim doesn't always replicate elevation. It doesn't really make it seem as big as it is. Well, if that's true of this place, boy, it must feel like a real roller coaster of a ride when you're sitting on board.
Oh, man, I've walked this track in real life up that hill from the grandstands, and it is daunting how big of an elevation change, especially when these guys are coming off that top, like the turnstile, coming down, dropping down. They're hitting over 100 miles an hour coming downhill. And when that, like you talked about, the track changing, these things get a little loose there. He gets a little dry slick, too.
So Edmondson was only 300th off of his best time, but Connor Barry has jumped up to 2nd. Keaton Swain with a walk-away improvement on his time. That is good enough for him to hold on to pole position. Now, Barry has got one more attempt in the bag as well. A real throw of the car in towards turn 2. That's where the 4-wheel drive would pull you off the corner a little bit more effectively, Dave, as Tyson Miller now up to 4th.
Yeah, Tyson's throwing a great one. Watching the lines that Connor has right now and seeing him just kind of saw on the wheel. There's a lot more movement in these Pro 2s and the wheels than you do in a Pro 4 because you're constantly trying to keep that thing straight. Because every time you get on the gas, that rear end wants to step out on you. It's kind of a, there's no differential back. That's a live rear end.
Not sure how many drivers will have laps remaining. So as Barry breaks the timing beam, it's good enough for pole position by 5 thousandths of a second. Drake Mittag, you were saying he doesn't love the track, but he's found enough speed in qualifying to jump up to 3rd. Here comes Zach Drapkin. He's just practicing. I see Matthew Lindy, Cody Vanderveer, Robbie Swan. Those are the drivers still with a chance to improve, but Barry once again on top of the pile.
Well, glad to see. It looks like that Drapkin made his bed, so that's a good thing. Maybe he's got some positive energy going his way. That extra breakfast.
always neat and tidy. Winkler, another driver, I think, just practicing for the time being. So I think this is our field locked and loaded. The difference between 16th and 17th positions, 13,000th of a second. The difference between advancing directly to the main event and heading to an LCQ.
Man, talk about the thickness of a butterfly wing right there. You know, I'm impressed. Crystal King sitting in 10th, Joey Herbie 11th, Vanderveer 12th. But just that tight spread right there, it's just amazing. You just see how all these drivers have stepped their game up in qualifying.
And I'm getting excited. We've got our final round of the championship again in a couple of weeks' time at the Crandon International Raceway. But after that, the action's not done, Dave. We have the World Finals. We'll head to the, we'll head back here, I should say, to the Wild West Motorsports Park with the Pro 4s, a trip to Bark River with the Pro 2s, and finish off with Pro 4s at Crandon. A nice little treat to close out 2025.
Oh, you got to love that. It's always exciting, you know, and keeping these drivers, keep guessing on their Pro 2, Pro 4, Pro 2, Pro 4, and where they're going and what they're going to compete in when they get to the World Championship.
Well, let's have a quick chat with the pole sitter, Connor Barry, standing by with Dave.
Connor, it didn't look like you had it. You had to take the last session there, and you found that 49 tenths of a second and knocked off Keaton Swain.
Oh, yeah. The lap was good. It was able to go pole, so that's always good. But now we're gonna be starting fourth, so it's gonna be a tough one out there. I'm not on the same sim, so it's gonna be a tad bit odd out there. But see what we can do.
And does that make a big difference when you're driving in difference? You know, is it a little bit different setup, or you know, it's like when you get in a truck. If it's not your truck setup, it's you know the seat length and the seat fit and all that. Does that kind of throw you off a little bit?
For sure. The biggest change is just being on a screen that is only it's only a single one. So it's tough to see out there, but my speed is good still. So just try to keep my front end clean and try to win this.
Well, if you're out front, you don't have to worry about anybody out there. You just keep the vision in front and keep the road in front of you.
Exactly.
Well, good luck to you, and boy, we got a handful in this one.
And so we are ready to go for the first of our LCQs. Trenton Browley, Rick Huseman on the front row, Dennis Mickelson in third position as they fly up towards turn one for the first of 6 laps. A little bit of a squeeze between fourth as now behind. They get all checked up. That's not ideal as at least one truck is headed back to pit lane. That's Taylor Vandenbush, and so top 2 in control. Dennis Mickelson trying to put the pressure on as they head up now to turn 3.
Yeah, he's really trying to pressure Rick Huseman there. You can see Huseman keeping it tight into the inside wall there, sliding around. Mickelson followed by Bodine. It's, man, I'll tell you, it is a good run up there. They're going to go nose to tail up the hill. And unfortunately, that's a hard place to pass. You just got to keep your momentum up the hill and pray you can put somebody move on the inside coming off the top.
And track not really slicking off just yet. That's going to be something maybe later on after 22 laps of the first main event. But 6 laps of racing, not much time to get it done. By no means have Brierley and Huseman broken away. Mickelson saw a door, has tried to shove his way forward, but not quite done and clear as now they plunge down off the hill. Long way around, still battling wheel to wheel. Is this the chance for the 586 to try and get in on the fun? Bit of contact, and Huseman holds on.
Yeah, he hit that K-rail. They do not move. You can see it just affected the truck there. He lost about 2 truck lengths on that one. We're going back on board with Mickelson as we see Huseman right in front of him there, getting a face full of dirt as it flicks up through there. Another great shot as we come around. You can see the rotation of these trucks through these turns. You can see these Pro 2s really slide around.
Yeah, this is where we really get to see the control on display when all 900 horsepower sent towards the back, and especially over the jumps here, got to be very, very careful with the attitude of the truck. We aren't yet halfway through this first of 2 LCQs. A little bit wide for both of your top 2 sitting inside of the transfer spots, and they've got a bit of a gap now back to 4th position. Mickelson tries once again, tries a bit more successfully. Not quite done and dusted.
Yeah, you can see Hughesman basically held on and gave him a little door there, fed it to him, came around, took that line back away. Mickelson's going to tuck in, and he's going to try and drag race them up the hill. This could get interesting here. It's going to allow Briley, though, a little bit of breathing room as these two battle it out. More they beat and bang it up. Beautiful move by Mickelson to the inside. And then, oh my gosh, Raymond Boudon, he also goes in around and bangs in through him.
And so now Mickelson's got the gap as well, halfway through the first LCQ. First change up in the front. Will Mickelson close and now put the pressure on, because Hughesman started to close the gap as well, and that was opportunistic to try and make the move from fourth position, but he's going to try once again down the hill. Left on the outside, very lucky not to get all cattywampus up. A bit more contact as they beat and bang up to turn 3.
Yeah, that was a good move by Mickelson as he made the run. He actually jumped outside, was able to keep the momentum up there, and able to just dive to the inside, causing Hughesman to get pushed wide. And if you can get back up close, you might be able to repeat that move. You know, we've got a couple laps still to go, but with these two still going, Hughesman losing a right rear fender there. A few souvenirs for the fans.
Riding on board. Now the drivers have a tear-off button that we don't have the luxury of with this onboard look that does replicate driver's eye view. Big plunge then as they head down towards turn 2. Be one more lap to go next time by. And this is our final race at a short track, if you will. Crandon a lot more flowing in its nature, a bit more technical as well. Not to say that this is not technical, Dave. You've still got to be very, very precise to get the speed from the track.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't treat that track with respect, it will chew you up and spit you out. Absolutely. The high speeds here, and we just saw how it happened on the start going into turn number 1. He can bunch you up, and your day's over with.
And that will be something that I think everyone will be worried about when we send 20 trucks off and away for the first of the main events. One more lap to go. I think the top 2 are comfortable here.
I do believe Mickelson's in a good position right now. It's unfortunate there for Hughesman and Boudin and Noble. Big gap back there.
Big gaps. But, bit of contact. That's not going to help. Hughesman sent into the wall. And our frustration to end the day for at least one driver as the gap now just continues to build. Trenton Briley from pole position to the back of the main event starting grid, but that's the important bit. The job is not done, but the night's not over yet. He'll be joined with Dennis Mickelson in making their way on forward. LCQ1 done and dusted from the Wild West Motorsports Park.
And a beautiful run from Trenton Briley from wire to wire for that young man.
And we'll say goodbye to the rest and get gridded up for the second of our 6-lap LCQ. It will fly on pipe and then main event time. So just 6/10 splitting them, but Trenton Briley, Dennis Mickelson not joined by the second of the boozy racing machines, while Rick Hughesman, Christian Noble, Solon Bershinger, David Weiggartner, and then Daniel Mamade and Taylor Vandenbush, the 9 trucks of LCQ1. Let's take a look at the starting grid for the second of the LCQs and figure out who's got to try and force their way forward. Oh, what a picture for Robbie Swan. It's interesting that he's somehow grown some opposable thumbs. He's got Austin Schreiber alongside and Gavin Plummer, Adam McAfee. Batman's got to try and fight his way forward with John Nobinger and Emma Valentin Flynn just behind them. Matt Lass and Joel Ulrich make up 7th and 8th positions. And remember, top 2 to make their way on forward. Everyone else has got to try and charge their way through.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one there. Of course, when you come to the LCQs, only the top 2 get to go. So right now, a lot of pressure on our front row. Robbie Swan and, of course, Austin Schreiber. But Plummer and McAfee, I'll tell you, they are in a good position there if they can get a good run in turn 1.
So I've never seen a dog control a race start before, but you know, it's a first for everything. Off and away we go, and contact already between 2nd and 3rd positions. And so 3 are being for 2nd spot as they head up the hill. Big send from Schreiber as he tries to hold on, does not lean on Robbie Swan. Adam McAfee somehow joined the fun as there's 4 involved at the back of the field, and Nobinger stranded on the inside wall.
How about Emma Valentina Flynn there sneaking up into that 3rd position? Beautiful move, allowing that contact, and she was able to sneak right in through that open gap.
The 3 positions gained for her, 4 for Joel Ulrich. Let's see what they can do with Robbie Swan and Adam McAfee. Mr. Batman currently in the hot seat. Hop, skip, and a jump is sent into the final corner by both Flynn and Ulrich. Ulrich, the one that lost a whole lot momentum. And so lap 1 in the books. Flynn not that far off for the top 2. As, well, here's a look at the replay, how they pinched up into the opening corner.
And you can see McAfee stays, high, wide, and handsome there. And you can see there's the stack up there. That K-rail causes so many problems. And you can see Lass moves around the outside to get around there, but Plummer and Schreiber definitely got caught up in that one for sure.
Yeah, and I think Robbie Swan did a good job just to give enough room to not get involved in all of those shenanigans. Flynn, once again, a big send in through turn 3, trying to close, not even onto the 3rd of 6 laps in this first LCQ. On the slightly tighter line, and you can see even unsettled at some point, it looks but very under control as she closes on the back bumper of Adam McAfee. 6/10 at the front of the field and then 4/10 behind, so a little bit closer in the fight for 2nd and 3rd position.
You can see Emma just threw a big wheelie coming up that hill there. Got the power on as she landed there. Makes it always interesting. But one of the big things coming out of turn number 1, I think on the start, everybody, if you're in front and you can get that nose on the K-rail to come around, you're okay. Other than that, I think staying high, high, wide, and handsome is the key here.
And this, again, is only after, effectively, about 10 laps of racing on the track, so not really too much track evolution counter to the end of tonight's racing affairs. Fight slightly further back as Austin Schreiber, 4th position on the recovery. Big send from Joel Ulrich up the inside, doesn't quite work out. And you can see the big gap up through the field to the top 3, halfway through this 2nd LCQ.
Yeah, definitely a big gap starting to develop there. He allows these top 3 to battle it out here for sure. Unfortunately, only 2 of them are going to go. And I think Flynn, she's going to have to get up there and stick her nose in a few of those corners there. And she might have to bully her way if she wants to get a pass there, but McAfee's just going to definitely hold it and keep it tight.
McAfee's lost a lot of ground to Robbie Swan, and so here comes the challenge from 3rd position. Remember, she's being a lot more aggressive on the inside up towards the final corner, and McAfee covered for a moment, but has to be a lot more cautious as through the final corner, down the hill, just about holds on and sweeps the momentum back towards the line. 2 laps left to go, and will Flynn be aggressive back up towards turn 1? Has had a few wheelies, 1 more, but not going to be able to get quite alongside, and McAfee holds stern on the defense.
Yeah, I think the key is going to be late breaking into that turn, carrying a little bit more speed, and if you're door to door, use them as a burn. That's what they've done many years in the past. I've seen it happen, and it's unfortunately you got to get the shoehorn out sometimes.
But if that's last chance saloon, you'd leave that to the last lap, wouldn't you?
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely. Don't put all your cards on the table yet.
So probably this time next lap by is when that card will be shown, but does have to stay close enough. Now, very aggressive was McAfee for a moment. Thought I was thinking he had got a bit too sideways, but he's closed slightly back up to Robbie Swan. 1 lap left to go, back on board with Flynn. Now it's got to be tight up through turn 1 here as McAfee, look how close to the wall he got. Tried to be aggressive, but Flynn's closed.
Yeah, I think she's going to look for, if you can get up there and look for it in the last turn, I think that's where she's going to go there. And that's where McAfee's going to have to really protect that inside. Because if she gets a good run up on there, she gets side by side going up that hill, it could be on like Donkey Kong.
Ooh, she got alongside on the run up to turn 3, and that might have hurt her, although drives off the corner very, very nicely. McAfee's fully in the mirrors at this point. He's not focused forward, and that might be to his detriment. Into the final corner. Here comes the send. Big shove, and McAfee a bit too slip and slidey. Flynn gets through and will join Robbie Swan in moving forward to the main event. Drama at the Wild West Motorsports Park as the LCQs come to a close.
I think Emma just threw down an ace on that one.
What a slide. That's the joy of short course. Sometimes rubbing is racing. It's 1.7 seconds. The margin grew at the end between the top 2, but we say goodbye to McAfee, Schreiber, Plummer, Ulrich, Lass, and Nobinger, and get ready to move forward with the 22-lap main event that is moments away from getting underway.
Well, definitely a exciting LCQ, that's for sure.
And so we've now had effectively 12 laps of racing, and that will carry forward into the brief warm-up session that we've got now, and then into the first of the main event. So track evolution for the first time, Dave, will start to be a factor.
Oh, definitely. I think now with 12 laps run, now with some warm-up laps, it's going to be interesting. And like you talked about, I think the second race is just going to be a whole different evolution of this track. It's going to take a new form.
And it keeps the drivers on their toes setup-wise. Open setups here in the Short Course Pro 2 National Series presented by CBR. We'll have a chat with our winner of the first of the main events. But we also, let's not forget, do have the competition caution that will pack the field back up, Dave. And I believe the competition caution tonight, the end of lap number 9.
Yeah, well, that was a nice little move until the wall ride came. Don't want to cause damage now. But you got to wonder some of these moves, I mean, this track has been famous for turn 1 pileups, and coming out of turn number 2 and 3 always makes for a little bit of rubbing. That guys coming into the K-rail, it's, you're going to have some good competition going on, especially, guys that are trying to claw their way to the top, to the front.
And we heard from Connor in the brief chat we had with him after grabbing pole position. He'll be inverted back to 4th, which is a dangerous place to be, I feel, Dave. Outside row 2, that could put yourself in a lot of danger through no fault of your own.
Well, you got to, that's one thing, I was talking about, going there. If you're out front and you got a little bit of gap, you put your left front wheel on that K-rail coming around the turn. But when you're back in 3rd or 4th, you got to be careful. So if somebody makes a problem, you can get stacked up behind them. You got that middle or outside line. I like to break it down to lanes, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And so which lane is Barry going to try and slot once we send them up 2 by 2 on the race start? 30 seconds left to go in this warm-up. Quick talk about the points. Let's not forget it was 9 the difference between Barry and Mittag headed out of the last round. Now the points are scored based on each of the main events. So it was really just the poor couple of opening rounds, Dave, that put Connor Barry on the back foot. He's been pretty consistent since then.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, we were in Phoenix, or Firebird Raceway, and he had backed it up into the pit lane, got a black flag. It cost him. So that kind of set him down. But I'll tell you, once round 2, 3, and 4 came along, it was on. He started coming back swinging. I think that was something he had to keep in his head there. So
22 laps to go in the first main event. Let's take a look at the starting grid after Barry grabbed pole. He's inverted to 4th position, and inheriting pole position through all of that is the self-confessed Pro 2 machine, Josh Edmondson. Let's see what he can do alongside of Jake Mittag in the Impact Simsport number 4. Keaton Swain returns and is in 3rd alongside of Connor Barry. That countryman Tyson Miller, they're 5th and 6th positions, with 7th going the way of Cody Winicki. Matthew Lindy will roll on row 4 as well, with Zachary Drapkin and Crystal King. The rest of the top 10, Joey Herbie, Cody Vanderveer, 11th and 12th positions before the final couple of drivers directly through from qualifying. Sean Winkler and Nicholas Dashalet. They're joined by TJ Staver and Anthony James, while Trenton Briley and Robbie Swan fought their way through the LCQs, as did Dennis Mickelson and Emma Flynn. So, already getting ready to roll behind the pace truck. 22 laps of racing. Pack the field back up at the end of lap number 4. And Dave, this is when the nerves start to build.
Oh, definitely. And it's a dry track, too. No grooming, no work, no nothing done. And we've got quite a few laps already burned into this one. So I think it's going to be an interesting start here. Turn 1 is always going to be exciting.
And with just 4 races left to go in the Pro 2 National Series presented by CBR, Can anyone dethrone Connor Barry as he looks to try and win yet another championship? It's Edmondson that leads us up the hill into turn 1 for the first time. Connor Barry with those red plates sits in 4th, and very comfortably they head out down the hill. A little bit of slip and slide, slightly further back from a couple, but that's all they want to see. All 20 machines headed down into the braking zone as Barry starts to get the elbows out, forces his way past Keaton Swain.
And you can see everybody banking it up there, backing into the turn there. Swain definitely with a good move on the inside. Coming up on Connor Barry, puts his nose right into that corner. Barry's got to tuck him behind. Barry's going to split off there as we watch Tag and Edmondson lead through there. And, oh, boy, you can see him keeping that right up on that cushion there. You can see that tire ride and protect that inside.
No changes inside of the top 6, and you can see almost 3 wide further behind. That is just on the edge of the top 10, leaning on each other between Drake Mittag and Keaton Swain, but it's only Cody Winicki that was a victim of the opening lap, although a big stack up behind. Oh, and Matthew, Lindy, Trenton, Bradley, they drop to the tail end of the field.
Oh, that's a rough one for sure as we go back up, watching the front runners here. Edmondson, Matag, and Swain. Swain with a good run up the hill here, but Barry trying to tuck in behind on his back porch right now as they make this run. We saw Barry in the last lap try to pull off and get a run up there. Only we saw it twice in the LCQs already, using that outside split as we take a look at the replay and see what exactly unfolded. Caught that K-rail, spun around, and collected the rest of the field there. See, Crystal King was able to get through there, not a problem.
Yeah, that was just, I think, unfortunate and a little bit too aggressive maybe on some parts, and not paying out race control, the ones that will take a look and apply their penalty point at the end of the race, although haven't seen too many things noted in the first 3 events of the season. Still, nose to tail effectively from 2nd all the way back through 8th position. Josh Edmondson is slowly starting to build that advantage at the front.
Yeah, Edmondson, you know, a former motocross racer, I tell you, he likes 2 wheels. The 2-wheel drive applies to him. But I always, you know, when it came to real life, I always saw a lot of our guys that raced motocross really adapted well, reading the track conditions and knowing where to put the trucks. Because when you only got 2 wheels going around, you have to usually be a little more careful. When you got 4, it just opens up a whole nother, situation for you.
And I'm just looking through our statistics. Josh Edmondson has never won a Pro 2 Series race before, from what I can see. So at least here in the iRacing short course ranks. So that's something he's looking to try and correct. There was a quick look on board at some of the other drivers, but Edmondson racing in virtual reality, heading up in towards the final corner. I had the chance to try some motion rigs for the first time, Dave, this past weekend. I've got to say, never had the chance to try this in a motion rig. That sounds like quite the experience. Plus virtual reality, no thank you. Get a sick bag ready.
I expected some turbulence at 20,000 feet, huh?
Oh, man, it would be rough.
Yeah, I can imagine motion rig with off-road racing is got to be just absolutely insane when it throws you around. If you roll the truck, will it flip you out of the motion rig is the question.
Well, there's a clip of Jordan Taylor who managed to flip his sim rig at one point, so I think the answer is very potentially. Just be careful. Buyers beware is maybe the warning label required. Remember, end of lap... I'll bolt that thing down. End of lap 9 will pack the field back up right now, something I think Josh Edmondson would very much be wishing would not be the case.
And you can see Barry changing his lines up here and there, trying to hunt down Keaton Swain. Swain continues to hound Drake Matag. He's right there. Barry's just going, okay, so these guys can take each other out. And more wheelies out of that. I tell you, that bump is really accentuated there.
Back down the hill. It's quite interesting just seeing how, even with all these bumps, they're able to control the cars or trucks, I should say, so consistently. Zachary Drapkin trying the switchback on Thad Countryman, almost gets driven into by Cody Vanderveer, but this the fight for 6th position on back. 5th on back has really lost ground to the top of the field, as with the bed made behind him. Here's a look on board with Drapkin.
And you can see right in front of him Countryman and then the Terminator, Tyson there. Tyson Miller, definitely, he had some bad luck the last couple of races there. He's been trying to climb himself out, and I think sitting in 5th position right now. Drafkin, always a top 10 solid driver. He knows how to win. It's not it's not like he's never seen the podium before. But this, I think this field. Oh, wow, there it is. Little
forces his way through on Thad Countryman. That's definitely not the face of a driver happy with how the pass got done, but done nonetheless. Barry, bit of contact, loses some ground as top 3, or rather 2nd through 4th, lose ground to the leader, but just continuing to stay on top of one another.
What a great shot. Swain basically put his right front on the left rear of Matag, and Barry did the same to Swain as they go around. Barry feeding a door to Swain now as they drag race down the hill. Swain's going to try and get by him, but this would give good position. Who's going to outbrake or outrun going up the hill into turn number 1 again?
Should help Drake Mittag hold on to 2nd by the time the competition caution is thrown. Barry clears under braking. Swain tries to cut back underneath, and down the hill they plunge. Still the fight for 3rd is on. By no means done and dusted. Swain's going to have to try the cutback once again. Barry officially now up to 3rd position. Oh, wonderfully set up move.
Yeah, it looks like Barry got that truck a little sideways, causing Swain to check up just a little bit, get on the binders, but didn't lose the momentum there because I think it was equal. Allowed him a tag to pull away just a little bit from Barry, though, with that slip up.
And so Barry's timed that well, hasn't he, Dave? They'll have one lap left to go before we close things back up as now Crystal King loses some time on the timing board, as does Robbie Swan.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes you go sliding around, you can see why that happened there. You see him getting all tied up there. And he is definitely on his side there. That's not going to go well for him.
No, I think that was Robbie Swan, the one that ended up on their side. So that's been a almost perfect drive so far from Edmondson, and look at this short time it's taken for Barry to start putting the pressure back on to Drake Mittag. So as we head to the end of lap 9, the first of the 2 main events that we have tonight here at the Wild West Motorsports Park, it's channel 199's Josh Edmondson. That's showing the field why he loves these Pro 2s so much. We'll close the field back up. Dennis Mickelson and Emma Flynn fighting for 12th and 13th position. So 2 drivers who have had to fight their way through the LCQs. Door contact made between them on their run to the final corner.
Yeah, they're going to say it's a little frustrating, I'm sure, with Edmondson. We're going to have to re-rack and restack him. He was starting to gap him just a little bit there, give that breathing room as Connor Berry was hounding Matag. And you can see more battles in the back of the field. The field's starting to stretch out a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and bunch him back up after that.
But we like this, don't we, Dave? The fact that as much as Edmondson's frustrated, you and I are loving it.
Oh, I love the race within the race. That's what I always love to say, you know. All right, just when you think you got it figured out, we're going to slow you back down and make you do it all over again.
They'll single file restart at the very least, so still some semblance of control for the race leader. They park the field back up and we will get ready to go. I did say that Edmondson has never won a race in the Pro 2 series, but he has won in the Pro 2 World Cup portion. So at least, you know, he's shown us his speed before in this particular machine.
Yeah, I believe that was during the Jim Beaver Esports deal.
Well, I've just gotten the word that we might be trying to get a word with Josh Edmondson. Tell you what, let's see if I can drag him. Do I have the permission? I do indeed. Let's see. No, I don't. I got so excited for a second.
He's like, I don't want to talk. I'm concentrating. You know?
Technology, Discord fooled me. But I think we're just moments away from getting the word to get back underway. Drivers who are a lap down can get their lap back. So it looks like TJ Staver and Robbie Swan will make it 18 trucks back on the lead lap.
Yeah, it looks like Crystal King in there. Oh, did we get somebody?
I think we do. Dave, you've got Josh.
Josh, the elusive Pro 2 driver out there leading right now. Man, I'll tell you, you've won in the World Cup, but man, you haven't got one in a national series yet.
Yeah, partially because this is the first one I've raced, but yeah, definitely. I'd like to get that win now. Now would be a good time.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a dry spell there for you on that one, but you know, I know you do this so well. I always say my motocross guys always did well in Pro 2s.
Oh yeah, I agree, man. I think it's a great crossover. There's a lot of things that do translate. So, and just being on the dirt here, you know, this is the closest thing to motocross. So, absolutely.
Well, leading this one, the caution flags come out. We re-racked you now. You got Matag and Barry and Swain back there. Any thoughts going through your head?
Yeah, I just got to keep it clean and put consistent laps in to stay ahead of them. If I don't make any mistakes, it'll be hard for them to pass. So that's the plan.
I think Jim Hawley used to say, get those elbows 10 feet wide, right?
Oh, heck yeah. Hollywood Ollie, man. Yeah.
There you go. Right on, Josh. Good luck, and looking forward to see you run this race.
Thanks, Dave.
That's always nice when we can interrupt them, Dave, just before they get ready to go racing again.
I made him smile when he talked a little motocross. He's an old moto guy. I love it.
And I think you are right. There is definitely something about the motocross translating well to the short course as we get ready to go once again. How aggressive does Connor Barry go, Dave, here on the start from third position?
I think Connor's going to try and stick his shoe in the door right away out of turn number 1, you know, going up on Matag. Matag's going to have to go into protection mode. And I think Edmonds is going to run like a scared rabbit right now.
Well, he built up about 2.5 seconds inside of the opening 9 laps. What can he do as we get ready to go once again? Going to hold the field as they head off down towards the restart zone. So Edmondson from Mittag from Barry, the top 3 as they run. And whoa, many going a bit early. And so chaos that will be looked at post-race. But Edmondson holds on at the front of the field. Top 3 as they were. Keaton Swain sat in 4th position with a slight technical issue. He gets driven off the road. Now, what's he going to do? Is he going to hold the side to the track? Is everyone else going to give him a wide berth as they head up towards turn 3 now?
I think Edmondson's going to stick with it. He did the first part of the race there. I think he was smart driving, and I think he's going to continue to do that. Matag, he's going to be going after him, but he's got to remember, he got Connor Barry back there. But not far back, Zach Drapkins moved up to 4th place, and then the Terminator still sitting in the top 5.
So Sean Winkler is +7, but he's not the biggest mover of the day. That's Emma Flynn, +9 to 11th from the back of the field. Back up to the opening corner. Mittag with the send, with the contact, not quite alongside as they head off the corner. Barry's not there to try and take advantage of all of this. That's a look of focus on the face of Mittag, a look of intent as the Impact SimSport machine avoids more contact down at turn 2.
Yeah, you can see Matag definitely protecting that inside as he continues to hound on Edmondson. He knows he can't leave a door. He knows Connor Barry's at his back door right now. And Connor's got size 12 shoes on, getting ready to kick it down.
Man, the look on the drivers' faces, you can kind of see the wheel work as well, how smooth they're trying to be. Don't want to be sawing back and forth, Dave, and slowing the momentum.
Yeah, you'll see him do it a little bit going up the hill. This is where they're trying to keep it. That was actually very smooth by Matag right there, one-handing it, coming through the torn, protecting the inside. Edmondson, though, he's taking his preferred fast line. Stay in that middle line. It looks very quick through there. He knows that nobody's right there to stick the nose in right away. Just keeping them off your rear fender right there. See, if you put a nose on that one, they apply a little too much pressure or too much pedal, they're going to spin around there. So Edmonds got that in his head too.
And you can very much see the line that's been burned into the track that will get reset, I'm pretty sure, when we get ready to go for the second main event. So let's see how the trucks are set up to deal with the difference when we get back underway. And now a big gap starting to build as Edmondson holds on at the front of the field. Zachary Drapkin trying to close on to the podium fight, but he's bringing the Terminator with him. A bit more of a gap, then back to Sean Winkler.
Yeah, good run back there. Drapkin trying to stay right up in there. But with Tyson Miller, but look at the gap back to Winkler. I mean, Winkler's a solid driver. He's always in the hunt there, but you can't get gapped like that. And once you get gapped, it's tough to climb back up the hill. Then you got all these other drivers hounding you from behind.
Very well judged restart as well by Edmondson to just hold into the opening corner. But behind Dave, there was so much chaos. Definitely looked like a couple of drivers decided to jump a little bit early, potentially.
So I just got a little update. You know that Drake and Connor are battling in the same room right now.
Oh, they're in the same actual room as they go door to door down towards turn 2?
I know Connor told me he was at Drake's house. I didn't think they're in the same room. That is awesome. Can you imagine? They're not smack talking, though. Yeah, I think they're so focused right now.
They both disappeared for a second, so can you imagine if they both lost internet connection at the same time? Let's not actually imagine that. As short time remaining in this race at the end of the day, on to lap 16 of 22. Big ride of the inside cushion by Mittag, but gets off the corner nicely. Edmondson's gone. Can Barry try and make a bit more of an impression in the fight for second now?
Well, I can tell you right now, his General tires are digging deep to find a little bit more speed and traction through there. So he looks again to the inside. Mittag off the apex, though, just keeps that nose tight. Leaves no daylight for him whatsoever.
And is there some racing in the real world happening next week, Dave? Is that why we're not racing next week?
They're not that I know. Well, we do have. No, not next week.
Okay. I was not sure, so I had to ask someone who's at least a bit more educated on the scheduling than I am.
Yeah, no, everything desert, nothing for a while to the Baja 1000, the real big one in November, and hey man, these kids got to get ready for Halloween too.
That's a good point. Maybe getting their costumes ready. Drapkin trying to hold on to 4th position as he makes contact with Tyson Miller on the run up towards turn 1. Holding the inside line, terminate and left the long way around. Gets the door slammed shut now as they head down the hill.
That was a good battle, a good move by Drapkin as he closes out Terminators, like you mentioned right there. Closed that door, slammed it right in his face. You can see Drapkin now, right up there on Connor Berry. Not, a place that Connor's feeling it. But look at this, Tyson Miller going the long way around. But that rear end's going to wiggle-waggle right in front and try and block him. And let's see if Miller gets a run on the outside of Drapkin here up the hill.
So Keaton Swain's recovered back up to 13th position in his recovery quest. Miller sent wide out of the groove. Down out through the final corner. Rear end steps out for a long time for Zachary Drapkin. It allows Miller to get back alongside. This is a great fight, although not what either of them necessarily wanted. 5 laps left to go. Crisscross coming once again from Tyson Miller. Connor Barry's lost some ground to Drake Mittag, who's not lost too much ground to your race leader, Edmondson. Still under pressure here.
Yeah, you gotta wonder. Barry, is looking very smooth there. You gotta wonder if the setup started to deteriorate as the track starts to deteriorate, I should say, because he looked a lot quicker early on as he made those moves. But now, he's not there to challenge Mittag. Mittag, a little gap back to like almost a second to Edmondson. Edmondson's, he's got his flow on. I'll tell you, he is looking smooth. I mean, that rabbit is running.
And so, final couple of laps left, standing between Edmondson and a first National Series win. It would come in these Pro 2s. A little bit unsettled there for Drapkin as he landed and got onto the brakes into the opening corner. Doesn't let Tyson Miller pull alongside. Behind them, Sean Winkler still holding on to 6th position. That's +7 for him in the fight with Thad Countryman, Anthony James, Cody Vanderveer, and Joey Herbie, the rest of the top 10.
Yeah, you got to wonder with, I know Barry's got a big gap on, or not that big of a gap, but a gap on Edmondson. But Edmondson was only 2 points behind Mittag. So this is going to make for some interesting points shake-up here as we go into the second race.
Could come all the way down to the wire, potentially. And remember, neither Edmondson or Mittag that far behind Connor Barry. So here comes the pressure now from Zachary Drapkin. And be careful. Tyson Miller could sneak his way on through as pushed out wide, gets the red line all 56. No one able to make advantage of that just yet. And Barry really starting to struggle in the closing stages.
Yeah, this is the first time I've really seen Connor go into protection mode right now. He's trying to protect that spot, protect his points there. And I think the Terminator is going to give Drapkin enough to think about coming around with 2 laps to go here. Definitely going to slow him down.
Countryman's lost a whole bunch of positions, continuing to drop now. As, remember, we'll invert the top 4 again. And Drapkin currently would be in the hot seat. There's the contact as Winkler got involved as well. And then the 26 just pinched into the inside wall. Van der Veer into the rear end as well. Back on the live pictures, 2 laps left to go. As we look at the fight with Winkler and James, no one committing up to turn 1.
Yeah, it's a good little battle. There's good little battles all throughout this pack right now. I'm really enjoying that. Seeing the, Jane's having a good battle right now, going on there. But, I'm also looking back that, Emma Flynn, she was way back in the pack. She's already up to 10th. She's been sitting solid there. Swain's right behind her. And then watching Herbie, Janes, and then, of course, you got Winkler and Janes battling there. And then the gap back to Herbie.
And that's the importance, Dave, of making it through the LCQ if you can.
Yes. If you didn't qualify in the first Sweet 16, I'll tell you, that LCQ is not an easy one to come out in the top 2, especially this track. It's a very challenging track. A lot of people say, well, it's not very technical. Yeah, it is. That turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3, and then you throw turn 4 into it with high speed coming off there and getting thrown up that little whip there. The stutter bump, it's not an easy track to drive.
It's technical in its own way. Doesn't have to be a Crandon or a Bark River in length by any means. Here comes a driver who I'm sure is going to be delighted with this one. It's taken a while for Josh Edmondson to crack the victory circle in the National Series, and so he gets it done here at the Wild West Motorsports Park in the Pro 2s, but the job's not done. There's one more race to win tonight.
Yeah, this is not over yet, and wow, what a run there with Barry and Drapkin. Drapkin tried to give him a run there as we watch the rest of the field come down the hill here. My goodness, what a crazy one. You could see Keaton Swain definitely beaten and banged on there.
So a technical issue combined with the lack of fiberglass on the front end. Good fight back to get up to 11th at the very least. Matthew Lindy's another one that shed most of the front of the truck. At least the subframe held on decently. Edmondson, race winner for the first time in the National Series. He's got Mittag not far behind as the fight for the championship still continues to be close with the championship leader Barry in 3rd. Drapkin, Miller, Winkler, and then Janes, all relatively close to one another. Herbie and Van der Veer battled between the 2 of them to the end, with Emma Flynn from the back to 10th. Not a bad effort by any means. Keaton Swain 11th, TJ Staver in 12th, with Dashley, Lindy, Swan, Mickelson, and Countryman all on the lead lap. Briley, King, and Winicki all laps down.
Ooh.
Well, let's catch up with the race winner, Josh Edmondson, standing by with Dave Arnold.
Josh, the monkey's off your back. The moto guy takes the win. You gotta love it.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Glad to get one for sure.
Well, I can tell you, we pretty much stuck with the same strategy you did in the first half of the race in the second, and started gapping again on there. And just looking at the gaps there, it was you started pulling away. Mittag was within striking distance, but you were staying smooth.
Yeah, that's just it. It's as soon as I was able to get enough gap to where he couldn't bump me in the corner so I could run my line, then I could extend the gap a little bit. First few laps after the restart there were close because you want to hold the inside, but then you get bumped like that. I had one, I think, sketchy moment, but he's trying to go for a move, and it's really hard to pass at this track when everybody's this close too. So that was overall a really good race though.
Yeah, we watched going into turn 3 there. You could see that Mittag was on your left rear, and then Barry was on the left rear of Mittag. And I'm sure that you guys were feeling that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how this thing goes. As many trucks as you are back, the more you kind of get stacked up going into these hairpin corners. So I'm really good on those guys to keep it clean, because it's not easy to. And I think I don't know what the invert's going to be, but it's going to be a challenge for me now in this next one.
Well, any strategy coming in this? Because you, whatever it is, you're not going to be on the front row in this one, unless there's a 0.
Yeah, well, I think it's minimum 2. So if I get that, then yeah. But yeah, keep the front of the truck clean. The aero damage penalty is really bad in these trucks. So if you get front end damage, it can really slow you down unless you break the hood completely off. So I'm going to try and avoid that.
Well, good thing we're not drafting like we're at the Glen.
Yeah, right.
Well, good luck to you in race number 2. Let's see if you can hold on to it.
Thanks, Dave.
Josh Edmondson, everybody. And Arjuna, is going to be interesting. What do we got in the invert?
I think it's 4, but we'll get confirmation in a few moments' time. For the meantime, Dave, you're standing by with second place finisher Drake Mittag.
Drake, I just talked to Josh, and he was talking about the first couple laps there. You guys were all leaning on each other, and, you had Connor on you, and you were on Edmondson. Any thoughts about that? Was a little frustrating there?
Yeah, it's give an inch, take an inch that whole time. As soon as Josh got to a second, I tried everything on the restart, but couldn't make anything happen. It was definitely battle of lap times right there. And all of a sudden, Connor started falling back, so...
Yeah, and that's the thing. He started getting a gap there, and was that giving you a little bit more confidence to try and keep to Edmondson, or are you just like, all right, this is where we're at, don't lose the position?
I just tried to stay where I was at. I tried to gain, but I don't think it wasn't really in the books. Josh is really fast here, and this is one of my worst tracks, so I'm definitely pumped to come away P2 for sure. I think he might have me on the points now, so. Just gotta stay smart this last race. That inside wall in turn 2 is very, very scary every lap. So just gotta make it to the end.
I think turn 1 also on the starts also when it's a little hairy too.
Yeah, for sure.
So I got to ask you, are you throwing things across the room saying, get off me, Connor?
Yeah, I was a little nervous out there. Connor's about 6 feet away from me, and if I mess up and take him out, or if he takes me out, things are going to get wild in here for sure.
Well, just don't bump the Sims together.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, Drake, and looking forward to see how this one turns out.
Thank you, guys.
And one more chat. Dave's got Connor Barry as well.
Connor, what a crazy race. What was going on in the second half of the race? I mean, you look so fast, so charging, moving up through the field, and all of a sudden it's like you hit the wall.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Our feet was good. We got it in the third before the halfway, and just some weird contact with second made my hood bent, and guess that destroys like all of your speed. So just had the block for third, and that was a little tough there at the end. I saw that Zach was there, so I'm glad that I was able to hold third, but the points now are really tight, so really need to put in a good one here, and hopefully we can extend it, or at least just stay in first.
Or at least stay in that podium position there to keep with Edmondson and Mittag are so close there. And I think Josh may have gotten Mittag on this one, so he's creeping up there, but you got to stay smooth on this, right?
For sure. Being smooth is good. It looks like Josh just drew a 4, so I'll be starting in second, so that should be good. Just try to keep them behind me and try to get around Zach as fast as I can and try to go in this and then just see where it stacks up.
Well, we'll see how the chips lay out here on the second race. Connor, good luck, and don't be too hard on Drake next to you there. Don't take him out with an elbow.
We'll try not to, but we're fighting for first here, so it's gonna be fun.
Well, we're looking forward to it. A lot of great drivers here, and Connor Barry, good luck to you here in the second race, our points leader.
And that second race coming up soon as the points continue to close up at the top of the championship. Edmondson hoping to make it 2 for 2 from fourth. That to come here at the Wild West Motorsports Park.
You want to know what's going on in your dirt sports world? Whether it's 4 wheels, 2 wheels, Dirt Sports World's got you covered. From the dirt to the dunes, we bring you the latest action in racing, to lifestyle, the newest parts, the newest vehicles, and what the superstars of off-road are up to. Check out our social media for up-to-date information on Instagram, Facebook, Dirt Sports World, and more in depth and check out the magazine at www.dirtsportsworld.com. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Dirt Sports World, for some great videos. So make sure to follow us and come get dirty with us.
I told y'all, we got the game on lock. Crank Lucas the rap deucer. Team Real Racing. Y'all already know we won. Off-road racing, quickest in the desert. To the finish line, passing through the checkers. It's Team Real, we just much better. When we on the track, we apply that pressure. People lined up screaming from the sideline. When they see the UT class fly by, or they see me in the truck doing drive-bys. In the Parker Dam or in the Baja. Every time you see me rolling through inside a buggy, and I'm counting up the money cause I came to multiply it. Put your 1200 horsepower in the motor, you don't really wanna race me, I dare you to try it. Started up the engine, now my wheels on fire. Zooming through the track while I'm burning up the rubber. Better get them slow waves out of my water. You don't wanna see the shark or there's a crusher. It's Team Real, y'all know what the biz. Crank Lucas and I'm spinning on the wheel. Doing 160 past you so fast when the wind hits your body, get the chills. Telling everybody they can eat my dust, but I guarantee you won't beat my best. Popping champagne when I'm at the finish line and I'm holding up the trophy and I beat my chest. What first place look like it's me? I don't do twos and I never met a three. People know the Team Real logo when I'm running through the desert and I'm running all through the streets. Never have to cap my race game tight. My vehicles can go all night. Foot up on the gas, I can never brake right because I'm allergic to all the red lights. Team Real, Team Real. Everybody thinking that they faster till they got a race. Team Real, Team Real. All about the speed and you can see it all up in my face. Team Real, Team Real. Real scared money don't make no money. It's Team Real, Team Real. Hit a motor rumble and the tires burning from the rubber. Team Real, Team Real. Everybody thinking that they faster till they got a race. Team Real, Team Real. All about the speed and you can see it all up in my face. Team Real, Team Real. Real scared money don't make no money. It's Team Real, Team Real. Hit a motor rumble and the tires burning from the rubber.
much to look forward to, including crowning our very first short course National Series World Champion. First up, it's the three-time king starting off on top. It's win 17 for Connor Barry. Barry getting quite comfortable in victory lane.
First-time winner in the iRacing Short Course National Series. Take a bow, Drake Mittag. Matt Adams is winner 22. He does it in the signature Propellers Long Beach Surfside Showdown. Keaton Swain's not going to stand down. To the line, a photo finish.
He finally got it. Swain, pop the champagne, baby.
And while Luke Canuck's yet to taste success in 2025, it's going to be a taste that's oh so sweet.
Her first win in the National Series through Calamity Corner. Crystal King gets it done.
Just 3 races left to go in the 2025 iRacing Short Course Pro 2 National Series, presented by CBR. Josh Edmondson has grabbed the win in the first main event. One more 22-lap sprint left to come. Arjuna Kankipati alongside of the voice of off-road, Dave Arnold. And Dave, interesting first race, and now the track gets a bit of a reset, and we get to reset as well.
Yeah, definitely. It was a great race. I'll tell you, Edmondson, ran away, and he had mentioned about the front-end damage stuff and the aerodynamics, and we saw that affect Connor Barry as we saw him struggle in the last half of the race. But I'll tell you, this second race now, we switched it up. The inversion of 4. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my Lanta.
And so Edmondson goes from first to fourth position, where Connor Barry actually started the previous main event. He'll start second alongside of the front row. And remember, another competition caution at the end of lap number 9. My rough points calculation have seen it shrink at the top of the championship, but Zachary Drapkin's not necessarily involved in that fight. He'll lead us to green alongside of points leader Connor Barry, and then his two closest championship rivals, Drake Mittag and Josh Edmondson, directly behind him. Tyson Miller and Sean Winkler are 5th and 6th positions, with 7th going the way of Anthony Janes, Joey Herbie, Cody Vanderveer, and Emma Flynn, the biggest charger in main event 1. Keaton Swain has to fight back from 11th, with TJ Staver to his outside. 13th for Nicholas Dashalet, 14th for Matthew Lindy, Dennis Mickelson and Thad Countryman, that's row 8, Trenton Brierley and Crystal King, row 9, and then at the tail end of the field, it is just Cody Winicki. 22 laps, competition at the end of caution at the end of lap number 9. Sounds relatively simple, doesn't it?
Oh, it's a piece of cake. It's a walk in the park. What do you want? It's going to be a battle royale, I'll tell you. This may be the second to last round, but it's all about point implications right now. And we got 3 guys that are all battling for that championship.
And I'm curious to see how aggressive they're going to get now with short time remaining and just one event left. Race control could be quite busy before we get things regrouped at the Crandon International Raceway. Pace truck is off and away, and Zachary Drapkin has put foot to floor. We are green at the Wild West Motorsports Park, and Connor Barry vulnerable for a moment, but he'll hold on to second spot as here comes the slide to the inside from Drake Mittag. They're racing in the same room. They're getting the elbows out. Long way around for the 4. Can Barry hold on as he gets pinched?
You can see he chopped right down on him. Mittag pinched him off. Barry shaved off a little speed. Mittag up into second. Barry now sliding back to third. Edmondson still holding on to that 4th position where he started at. And we're going to take a look and see some fiberglass, some damage just a second ago there. I think the results of turn number 1 rear end pileup once again as Drapkin continues to lead.
That was Emma Flynn, who had such a promising first race, but now at the back of the second race. So heartbreaking after the fight back. Keaton Swain's back up to 10th. As lap 1 complete, Mittag a bit cattywampus on the landing. And Barry vulnerable to the pressure from his Channel 199 teammate. Edmondson not going to find a way through. Van der Veer squabbles with Janes a little bit further behind. They've lost a lot of ground from 7th on back. It's a little bit wide for Drapkin. Door open for Mittag to try and take his advantage through turn 3.
And I think also point out there, Tyson Miller and Sean Winkler still going at it here once again as we look at that little caught up again. And you can see Flynn just gets beaten and banged on as she goes round.
Here's a look at the front through the final corner. Connor Barry in 3rd position, still looking a little bit more behind than in front. And Mittag is doing his best to shrink that points deficit. It would be still within single digits headed into the final round of the championship, but he'll make it even more close if he can slip his way through the red line. All 56 left on the outside as they head down the hill once again. Remember, comp caution at the end of lap 9 to pack things up. Can Mittag find a way through and then gap the field and show us the speed? Drapkin's not going to be a walkover, though. He pushes Mittag back into position, and here comes the rest, Barry included, to close the gap.
And you can see Drapkin's gone into protection mode right now as we go back on board here with Josh Edmondson, currently in that 4th position, P4, as he's hunting down Connor Barry. And Barry now looking on the inside, everybody liking that inside line, slide out wide and carry that momentum down the hill. But I think right now that Drapkin is definitely going to try and protect those lines because Mittag is trying to... Mistake there.
And new race leader, here goes Mittag through, Barry follows, and Drapkin drops down to 3rd position. It will be Edmondson who tries to fight his way back through as we jump on board with main event 1 winner of the night. And now I'm also looking forward to seeing the fight between the 2 drivers racing in the same room, now running 1 and 2, as they fight for the championship at the front of the field.
And you saw Edmondson stepped out a little bit coming out of turn number 1 down that hill. He was able to a nice recovery there. But he was trying to battle there with Drapkin as he looks to the inside again. Drapkin with a good slide around that final turn down the hill. But the story, Drake Mittag, now 2nd in points, leading this race.
He had a great start to the season, let's not forget.
Yes.
Trying to continue the good form. Edmondson trying to follow his way through and join his teammate Barry on the podium, but not quite alongside of Drapkin, who's going to hold firm on that inside. Got to be careful not to now make a bit too much contact, because Sean Winkler will buy every opportunity they can offer up. Miller, Van der Veer, Swain, back up to 8th position on his fight back. He's found it tough going so far.
Oh, it's definitely, you got to also make sure there's no damage there as we on board with Drapkin right now. Currently sitting P3. You can see he has got his eyes focused on Connor Barry, looking to see if there's any daylight left there. And I'm sure Edmondson going to turn number 1. This is going to be interesting. Who's going to outbrake him? Who's going to break a little later than the next? And you can see Drapkin is trying to carry the speed in there. Edmondson looks low at Drapkin.
So difficult to spot your line when you're stuck behind another truck, Dave, especially when you see them in the air, landing, and then the compression before they're actually committed to the corner. And corner after corner, we're seeing Drapkin go a bit wide, but by no means is it something Edmondson can take advantage of just yet.
Now you got to wonder, being in VR mode there with Edmondson, and you talked about bouncing around, keeping your brain, your equilibrium, straight.
I don't envy anyone in virtual reality, although I think Edmondson gifted the chance through the final corner, backs it up, parks it on the apex, and 3rd is now the way of the 58, although now going to struggle to go back for back. He's already now 2 seconds off of the race leader.
And I just noticed back there, Winkler got by Miller now. And looks like Winkler trying to challenge Drapkin as Drapkin tries to answer back. Goes and keeps a little speed on the outside. Let's see if he can go for the over-under. Let's see if he's going to try and chop this one. And nope, not able to make it happen. Edmondson protected the inside.
Next week, rather 2 weeks from now, we're off next week, but we'll be racing at Crandon. We were saying that this is by no means not technical, but that's technical in its own right, especially with these 2-wheel drive trucks putting about 900 horsepower all through the rear wheels. A lot more required of the driver. We have 2 laps left to go before we'll pack the field back up, and Drake Mittag has made a statement so far. Look at the gap at the front.
Oh, big gap right there. As you can see that Matag's starting to run around. Edmondson to the inside of Barry. Nice move there. Barry's going to tuck in behind him. Oh, this is a little deja vu here now. He's going to have Drapkin starting to hand him. Here comes Winkler. But Edmondson with a beautiful move. But I think the point you're making, I think you have 280-degree turns at Crandon. Here, every turn goes the opposite direction from where you started and entered. 180, 180, 180.
Yeah, some of those long sweeping corners is where I'm thinking Crandon's going to be a lot of fun to watch the battles. Now I think we've got even more intrigue because the restart with a lap left to go before we pack the field back up will pit Edmondson on the tail end of Mittag. So how aggressive can he go on that start? He's got to now just settle down. He's not really going to do anything on this next lap. It's behind where there could be a bit of difference. Winkler gets close, not close enough to the back of Zachary Drapkin. But this is the fight for 4th and 5th position. Keep an eye on it when we get back underway.
I do believe we're going to get that comp caution this next time around here. So it's going to really change it up there with Edmondson still trying to chase down Matag. And Barry, you know, watching Edmondson slowly slip away. Edmondson found a lot of speed in his setup here, I think.
He's just relishing, I think, these Pro 2s. I think he's going to love Crandon in particular as well.
Oh.
Very defensive line from Connor Barry. I think he just wants to protect as we close lap 9. Main event 2 will slow down for the comp caution. And wow, we are ready to see if Mittag can hold on now.
Yeah, I think the Matag stays where he's at. He'll get the points back from Edmondson that Edmondson took over him in the first race there. So we're going to re-rack him here. So it's Matag, Edmondson, Barry, Drapkin, Winkler, followed by Miller, Swain, Winecki, and Vanderveer. And TJ Staver, our top 10 there. But man, I'll tell you, James, Herbie, Lindy, Mickelson, Countryman, King, Flynn, Briley, and Dashley. Unfortunately, Dashley down 2 laps, so pretty much out of this one.
It's an interesting position, I think, championship-wise, because Barry got a few points for pole position. You know, Edmondson won the first race. Mittag could be in a position to hold on here. Tell you what, let's catch up with Drake. He's standing by with you, Dave.
Well, Drake, you fought your way up to that top spot, getting up there again. I mean, I'll tell you, that's got to be a little nerve-wracking now, knowing that Edmondson and Barry are back there.
Yeah, I got a really good start. Got to the inside of Connor and was able to get Zach after a lap or two. So just kind of set my, put my head down and tried to run away with it. Was able to do so, but now that Josh is behind one of the fastest guys on the track tonight, we'll have to see. We'll have to put in some work this second half and hopefully come away with the win.
Well, you're starting to gap them out a little bit going, especially even up the hills. It seemed like you're pulling them a little bit. But the question is now, the restart, everybody's back on your tail. Turn number 1, what's your strategy?
Hug the bottom and make him get a penalty to pass me, pretty much, Make him move me, and if I can keep it on the bottom, we should be on for a battle with Josh.
Well, good luck to you. I gotta say, this is going to be an interesting one. All right, we got Drake Matag. Arjuno, man. Ooh, you hear that strategy?
I mean, I like it, right? It's simple.
Yeah.
Keep it clean and force the others to move you out of the way. Now, the problem is that happens at the end of the race. So you are going to get moved and you're going to feel all frustrated until, well, you don't get the position back at the end of the day.
Well, I think that's why Drake's got to do what he did earlier, start to pull away, gap Edmondson a little bit there. And I think Barry's going to have to make a good run on Edmondson.
Agreed. Let's see what happens. All in the hands now of the Impact Sim Sport number 4 as a solid championship run so far. Drake Mittag looking to try and put the pressure onto Connor Barry in the final 2 races after this. But first, we've got 12 laps left to go from the Wild West Motorsports Park, off and away, much tidier at the back. Oh, I jinxed it. Bit of contact and one pulls to the inside and spins. That's Anthony James. Oh, you can curse Arjuna for that without a shadow of a doubt. Crystal King up the inside of Thad Countryman. All sorts of fiberglass gone flying. Edmondson not really close enough to Mittag at the front of the field. 4 beam behind. It ends in tears. King almost off the track.
And you can see King back there, also Herbie, Lindy, and you can see King unfortunately sliding back just a little bit. Staver, and you can see that Boozy machine just having contact with the wall.
So much going on. That's the problem with these short course races. You don't know where to look. Look at the gap, though, between second and third position. It is going to be the show between Mittag and Edmondson. Don't think Barry, Drapkin, Miller, Winkler, they'll play a part at the front, although Keaton Swain's got his own show. He wants to fight his way back up to a podium spot. He's in 7th.
And the crazy thing is, you talked about it's an open setup. You can do, suspension, brake, bias, everything. What was that secret formula? I think Drake's got it, and Edmondson definitely figured it out. I know Drake said that Edmondson seems to be the fastest guy on the track right now. Can he keep up with that comment?
Winkler under a bit of pressure from Keaton Swain, who's left on the outside, switching back through 3. Cody Winicki's there as well. He had a technical issue. He's back up 11 spots so far. That's another great drive. Like we were saying, so many stories up and down through the field.
Oh, absolutely agree on there. And, Winkler always right there, always battling. And you can see Swain right now battling with Winicki there.
Winicki had a great run in the Pro 4s. Has had a less luck, I would say, in the Pro 2s, but by no means should be sneezed at. He is very solidly locked in, I would say, at this point to the playoffs and the World Finals at the end of the year. Keaton Swain still works on the back of now Cody Winicki, who's fought his way up to 7th position. Josh Edmondson within 6/10 of the leader, so Mittag holding strong at the front, but the laps are ticking away. The track's evolving as well, and we are getting deeper and deeper into the season.
And one thing I'm noticing, this battle between Drapkin and Miller, it has continued all night long. These two are out for blood on it for sure, holding up there within the top 5, keeping that one cracked.
Oh, bit of contact from Mittag as he comes off the final corner. You can see the pressure is building. Edmondson's the closest he's been for quite a while, within 0.4 of a second. And look at the gap back to Barry behind, back on board with the Channel 199 Track Racer 58. Now, they've got the button to clean that helmet. We don't get the luxury of that, so the dirt's being kicked up. This is the obstructed view that you would have if you didn't press the clean the helmet button.
And which he just did there. You can see Clean Rat just kind of disappeared. Now, in real life, sometimes the drivers, if you're not pulling a tear off or hitting the muncher, you'll accidentally, you want to, reach up with your hand and you'll try and wipe it. Well, that smears it. That makes it even worse. So, Josh racing motocross, you learn to look through that, as you're pulling tears, because you can't take your hands off the handlebar or the wheels sometimes. You have to do it sometimes in the air. So you always got to find that right time to do it.
I love the machines that they have sometimes that wipe a towel. That's the phrase I'm looking for. Almost 2x2 is Drapkin. Very physical there. Loses out to Tyson Miller once again. Cody Winicki and Sean Winkler. That could be swapped around down at turn 3, although long way around for Winicki entering the corner. Winkler slams that door shut. Up front, still relatively close. We jump on board with that 720.
And he's still right there. Sean Winkler looking at Drapkin from the rear. Tyson Miller's able to get by Drapkin. Drapkin now back to P5 here. As you can see, Connor Berry up there in the distance. Also Tyson Miller as Winkler gets a little look through the turn.
So, short time remaining, and Edmondson running out of time to go back-to-back here at the Wild West Motorsports Park. If he did so, he would leapfrog Mittag in the championship points. He would become second, headed off to that final round of the championship, but ultimately they would also both close the gap on Connor Barry, who sees all of this action still behind him. Winicki the long way around. Swain closing his gap as well. It is starting to build up as we head into the final stages in the mid-pack.
Yeah, Swain trying to hunt down Winicki. Winicki on the back of Winkler as they're all trying to chase down Drapkin, Miller, and Barry, and, of course, Edmondson, and, of course, our leader, Drake Mittag.
This is some great stuff. And even if the tracks only evolve for 16 laps, it's still very difficult. Look at Barry. He's feeling the pressure. Here comes Tyson Miller, the Terminator. Wants to try and grab a podium spot away from the championship leader. Barry will go deep. Here comes the contact. Shove off the corner. Tyson Miller's alongside.
And Miller's got it by, roughly about a nose right now, coming around. He's on the outside, Barry at the inside. And you can see Miller try to chop block down, go to the inside. Drapkin was there to fill the hole as Barry continues. Now here comes Drapkin around the outside here, side by side with the Terminator, Miller.
This is great. This is what we were hoping for. A bull ring of a track. It compresses the drivers up. Swain alongside of Winicki slightly further behind. Into the final corner. Barry tries to keep it tight. Around the outside. Power move forthcoming from Drapkin. The red line all 56 machine is back up into a podium spot. And Barry is driving like a defensive driver. It's not often that you see him like this. Big send. Will he leave the door up the inside? He pushes Drapkin back out of the way. That was aggressive. That's the sign of the championship being on the line.
I think Winkler says, hey guys, let me play with you. You can see he's battling back there. And with Nicky and Swain, Drapkin almost goes around. Winkler gets spun around there. Drapkin able to come through that unscathed at that point. And Cody Winicki now up to P5.
That's a shame. That's what eventually builds in racing like this. Lots of fiberglass missing for Keaton Swain, but let's see how much it slows him down aerodynamically as he tries to close back on Winicki. A bit more fiberglass goes flying. Here's a look at the replay. So Winko shoves Miller, who was really already digging into Zachary Drapkin, and then, well, that's not ideal when you try and spin yourself back around into forthcoming traffic.
Yeah, and then end up T-boning the wall there. You can see Miller got caught up there. And he's always back to 8th. Oof.
Side by side down the hill with 3 laps left to go at the end. Oh, here we go. Contact.
When Nicky gets tied up in that one now, he goes back with the number 15 there, machine, TJ Staver.
They seem to have forgotten that you can make it through the corner safely. But, my goodness, at least it's entertaining. Front of the field, 3 laps left to go. Here we go. Edmondson, effectively, 11 more opportunities, Dave, to find his way back to the front and into second in the championship.
Well, there's only 2 more laps for opportunity at this point now, too.
Not going to get it done here just yet. Where can he get it done if he's still this far behind?
Ooh, that's a question. You know, I can tell you right now, Edmondson's got his mind set on where can I pass my tag, but first I got to get up on his porch.
Helps if you can continue to run your regular racing line. Still not seeing Mittag go defensive, and so 2 laps left to go. These two, the class of the field, it's fair to say. Connor Barry nowhere to be seen, and so ready to see if they can hold on to victory or if there will be a switch at the front. Mittag with 8 more corners left to perfect.
Yeah, that's not a lot of turns there. I got to tell you, that is going crazy.
Nice and simple. Down the hill once again to the lowest point on the track. In virtual reality, Edmondson keeping his eyes laser focused on his competition, leans in towards the corner. He'll have one more chance to the final corner after this. Is he going to commit to a big send? I think he's a little bit too far behind as he yanks on the handbrake, lunges the car into the final corner. And one last lap, one final set of opportunities to fight for the lead.
And let's see if Edmondson can get up here in turn number 1. Can he outdrive Mittag here? Mittag, late break, goes around, leans on Mittag, and it's going to be side by side off the ski jump here. Setting up here for turn number 2. We go for the outside and sweep it around or outside in. Mittag really protects that inside moment.
It will come down to the final corner, you would think, if Edmondson can stay close enough. That's the goal through turn 3 as they put a lot of sideways slip into the trucks and then put the power down through the rear wheels, through the jump into the final corner. Defensive from Mittag, going to force Edmondson to drive off the corner strongly, but what a defensive line. Drake Mittag holds on and will hold on to second in the points with the win here at the Wild West Motorsports Park. 2 more races left to go. Barry, Mittag and Edmondson. It all comes down to Crandon.
What a crazy run there. And of course, Edmondson took it. Then Matag takes it back here. So insane here. They split it up 50-50, race 1 and 2.
Rest of the field straggles to the line. Lots of fiberglass missing, although Sean Winkler has still got plenty of it, as much as he's finishing further down from where he would wanted. Oh, we'll have a quick chat with the drivers, and then we'll wrap up for the night, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks to close out the season. Might take a while for Anthony James with a blown engine to make it to the final corner, but let's take a look at the provisional race results. 3/10 the gap, but Impact Sim Sport Mittag hold on for yet another victory in the National Series. Edmondson second, Barry in third, and almost 10 seconds adrift, with Drapkin, Swain, Van der Veer, and then Miller, Herbie, Lindy, Winnicki, the top 10. Rest of the field will be TJ Staver, Dennis Mickelson, Sean Winkler, Crystal King, Trenton Briley, Emma Flynn, Bad Countryman, and Anthony James, while Nicholas Dachelet is off the leading lap. And your confirmed results in terms of across of both main events is Drake Mittag in front of Josh Edmondson and then Connor Barry, according to the results behind the scenes. I tell you what, let's have a quick chat with the drivers involved, starting with Josh Edmondson. He's got Dave in his ear.
Josh, what an insane race. You could see that it really came down to that last lap trying to throw it in there, and you could just see Mittag was in total protection mode.
Yep. Yeah, he did what he had to do there. Congrats to him. He protected there. I was able to get up next to him, but then, of course, I'm on the outside in the next corner, and he did what he had to do the next couple corners there to protect the inside. I wasn't going to drive through him and, get a penalty for a win or anything. But, yeah, so overall, great race, though. I'm happy coming back to second.
It looked like it came down to, with you two drivers coming in there, it's like who's going to late break into the corners, who's going to carry the more speed at that point.
Yeah, it's tough because the track was starting to slick off, so it was easy to overdrive it. So, yeah, trying hard really didn't work. I did it a couple times, made some mistakes.
Well, at least you got the win and race number 1, second there. Still a tight points battle as we head into Crandon.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they are, but I know it's got to be close with Connor and Drake and I. We're all really close. I know Keaton had a bad night. That's unfortunate. He would have been in this points fight for sure. So, but yeah, I'm happy to be up there, and Crandon, anything can happen to Crandon. So we'll go in there with a, chance to win it and go for it.
Well, I got to say, what a great race. It was enjoyable to watch, and I know you got a lot of people behind you to make this all happen.
Yeah, absolutely. First, special shout out to Cosman Splash and Go Graphics. I feel like I got some pace after this new paint I got on the truck. And then you guys for doing the broadcast. These are awesome. I'm excited to go back and watch this one. And then, of course, Connor and everybody at the league and Channel 199 Sim Racing, Track Racer, Pimax VR, Racecraft, everybody, Connor, everybody on the team. It's been a lot of fun. So looking forward to the last one.
Well, thanks a lot. Congratulations, Josh Edmondson, on a great night.
And also the winner of our Redline Oil Bracket Challenge. He'll get $50 to his name as well. Didn't get a chance to talk much about that tonight. Let's also talk to Drake Mittag, who wins main event 2. He is also the winner of the night overall. And so Drake Championship closes up. How are you feeling with just 2 more races left this season?
Things are getting tight, man. Going into tonight, me and Josh were 1 point away, and I think now we're maybe still 1 point away, 3 points away, maybe. So we it's gonna get tight into this last round. I'm excited. This is the closest I've ever been. This is actually my first year in the National Series, so to be this close to a championship and only have one more night to do it is definitely nerve-wracking. But tonight was a solid night. Was able to get to the front pretty quick and just ran every lap, every line perfect from there on out. So I want this tonight to go exactly how, or I want Crandon to go exactly how tonight went, for sure.
Let's talk about track state, because between the end of main event 1 and the start of main event 2, how much did things change for you?
Not too much, honestly. I think I might have played into that role, the later track state role, a little bit better than some of the other drivers. I had him for like 6 or 7 tenths the whole race at the end there. So definitely a good night Pace was there when I thought it wasn't going to be.
Well, congrats on a great night, and we'll see you at Crandon to see how this championship plays out.
Thank you, guys.
That's Drake Mittag. Let's have a quick catch up with Connor Barry as well before we sign off for the evening. Connor, you've just been whipping together the championship points, and so as I understand them, and I think as you've calculated them out, 6 points, that's your lead, headed off into the final round of the championship.
Whoa.
Connor, do you have a copy?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, we lost some points. Our speed was good, just got some damage like early on, so can't do much about that. It's a bummer because I felt like we really could have been in a fight there, but it is what it is, and we'll go to Crandon and do what I do best and go out and win.
Both Drake and Connor, Josh rather, have been on a pretty good streak with these Pro 2s. How do you fancy the competition heading off to the final 2 races before the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, they're bringing some speed. They're definitely there, so it's going to be a battle for sure. It's going to be a battle for sure, and whoever is the best is going to win it. I'm glad that I still was able to walk out of here first in points, and then just go into Crandon, try to avoid everyone, and get out in first and put a gap on them.
And before we let you go, how was it not racing on your rig and instead racing right next to Drake instead?
It was different. I mean, a single screen is different as always, but I would say, like, honestly, my speed was good. So as much as I got smoked out there, I can't say it was because of my sim. So a PV sim, a big thanks to them, and just I'll be back on mine for the final one. So I'll be back to my speed, even though I think my speed here was good. So we'll be there, and we're gonna fight for it, and hopefully we come out on top.
Man with no excuses, Connor Barry, our championship leader, heading into the final rounds of the season. Well, Dave, great to be back alongside of you in the booth, and looking forward to, again, it's not to say that this was not a technical challenge, but a different technical challenge at the Crandon International Raceway.
Oh, definitely. And of course, you know, Wild West always brings great racing, but Crandon, there's nothing like the big house. And, you know, going to make sure to join us November 5th, 9 p.m. Eastern. You know, it's just 6 o'clock Pacific time. And I can't wait for this one, because I'll tell you what, tonight, and this Pro 2s and everything has been such great racing. I think it really shows and showcases the driver's skills. Pro 4s, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're difficult, they're fun, they're great. But to do a ballet with a Pro 2 out there, hats off to these drivers.
And some long sweeping corners at Crandon to whet the appetite. I think that's what we're looking forward to. And so, for the entire team that makes this possible, Dave Arnold alongside myself, our Junior Kanky Party, thanks for your company on RaceSpotTV. Just 2 more rounds left to go in the iRacing Short Course Pro 2 National Series presented by CBR. But the road's not done. World Cup to come after that, but all roads lead to Crandon in 2 weeks' time. We'll see you then.